Big time, big time. Today we're going to be talking about Big Time, a multiplayer action RPG game in the Web3 gaming space that, in its pre-alpha state, is the #1 ranking game in terms of Web3 gaming on Twitch. Of course, disclaimer time, this is a sponsored video, and of course, thank you to the Big Time teams for sponsoring the channel and making further videos possible. But today, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what Big Time is doing, because there's a big economy update, but more importantly, what this game offers, because this is a game that already has talent from AAA studios, that has already built out a product that is competing against traditional games, as well as offering a way for players to have every function of the economy in their hands. The Big Time has several classes in their game, namely 6 classes: Time Warrior, Shadowblade, Quantum Fixer, Chronomancer, Battlemancer, and Tech Blade. My personal favorite is the Time Warrior, a brute barbarian that hops on there with a great sword to go ahead and do as much damage as possible to your enemies. I mean, it's the one I've been playing this entire playtest in pre-alpha, and it's the one that I'm probably going to continue to play over time. They've got all things from warriors to rangers to healers to mages, all kinds of stuff you can play on Big Time right now. Something cool that reminds me of Trove, which is another game that was roguelite, is the fact that Big Time offers procedurally generated dungeons. The main core component of gameplay on Big Time right now is the fact that when you hop into these dungeons that you find, and you just hop into these portals, you can go ahead and find plenty of different tasks to do. Sometimes you're warping all over the place to go ahead and go to a time before a massive bomb has destroyed a bridge, or maybe you want to go ahead and go back to a time where the grass was a little bit greener because you just wanted it to be a little bit greener. Well, that's the entire premise of Big Time, and that is that there are going to be these little pocket watches with time warps all built into the lore, which I think is a little bit of a finesse touch from the Big Time team. Now, in terms of the gameplay loop, in order to upgrade your weapons, of course, you hop onto these dungeons, and over time, you'll level up. The cool thing, however, is that there are several things you could do to amplify your experience, and this is where we come into what is the Big Time token, which is going to be a lifeblood of the entire Big Time ecosystem. This has to do with their forges and their armories and their time wardens, all compiling together to bring the ecosystem that much further. The forge you go ahead and do to craft weapons and shields, the armory to craft your armor, and the time warden, of course, to get hourglasses, which, limited in supply, earn you the Big Time token. However, there is a catch for these hourglasses, and that is the fact that you have to replenish your hourglasses over time using Big Time. So there is that caveat of you having to play the game and constantly having to think about it. But here's the thing, here's a really cool thing about Big Time, and that's the fact that playing the game, you can go ahead and earn these NFTs, which you can trade for real world value. So remember the whole narrative that people were spinning for quite some time, where they were talking about World of Warcraft and how World of Warcraft would be so much cooler if you could sell the items, your magical greatsword that you've gotten, that's a 1-for-1, that's amazing, for real world money. And the cool thing is that it's kind of already happening in black markets, but now you don't have to go through black markets. You can just go through regular players and be able to do it in an open economy that the developers are 100% supporting and aren't just throwing items into the mix. I mean, this isn't like traditional gaming where you'd go ahead, hop in the game, and then you'd have these issues where it has an unlimited supply, it's just ballooned like crazy, and you don't know where this is going long term. Versus this is limited in supply, players have to actually fight in the game, open loot boxes, and see if they can actually go ahead and grab some of these rare items. I mean, we've had mythic items in this game sell for upwards of $1,000. So clearly, you know, there is value in these items right now. And that, for you, the user, should be the big thing for Big Time. Whenever people think about MMORPGs, they think about the fact that the devs are always pushing forth updates and always pushing forth a limited supply items. And it's really annoying for a lot of players because it devalues the experience greatly. Big Time doesn't care about any of that. They let people just go ahead and grab everything they want. The Big Time token, for example, is going to be earned only by players in the game. That's the only way to earn it. There's no other way. If you want specifics on it, only Hourglass owners can generate Big Time, which means that all players can spend Big Time, but only a limited amount of players can actually earn it. Now, in terms of their new preseason, which you're saying is going to release a lot of new updates and new information into the game, the access to this preseason is exclusive, and only the following can actually get into it. That's going to be people that own space, people that have a gold, jade, or silver pass, people that have reached rank 20 in any patch, or Big Time ambassadors. So look forward to that. If you're one of those people, then good for you. But if you're not, well, you better get an invite code, which we're going to leave in the link description, as well as in the pinned comment below, so you can get started with the Big Time. One of my favorite moments when playing Big Time is hopping into some of these guilds and actually going about curating a community of people that you can get into parties, slay some dungeons, and maybe have the possibility of getting some NFTs. I mean, when people get NFTs, they get super excited. I know some people that have gotten 400 NFTs. I know people that have gotten no NFTs. I'm talking about you, Paisan. But overall, the experience is very similar to Trove. If you've ever played some of these more dungeon crawler-esque games, you're really going to enjoy Big Time. I mean, they've really gone hard on the whole Pocket Watch lore dynamic, which I think is great and overall leads to a better MMORPG experience. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section in regards to Big Time. Thank you, Big Time, for sponsoring this video. If you want to check out Big Time, don't forget to click the link in the description. We're going to obviously cover more Big Time in the future, so you might as well do it. You might as well get started with the game. I'm looking forward to their pre-alpha launch. Until the next time, stay classy, and that's all.